What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Daily Energy Newsbeat Stand-Up here on this gorgeous Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. As always, I'm your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in Dallas, Texas, joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, EnergyNewsBeat.com, Stuart Turley. My man, how we doing today?
This is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm exhausted. What a great day.
You had an absolutely fantastic day. A lot of podcasting. Is like your sixth podcast of the day?
Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I got to give a shout out to Jeff Crilly over there at Real News Media. Give a shout out to Combo Curve. We got Dan. It is a heck of a show out there.
Yeah, we'll tease that a little bit down the road. Great episode with Combo Curve. A lot of cool stuff coming up with them. We love them over there, guys. So we appreciate everybody over there at Combo Curve for helping us out. But we have an absolutely fabulous show lined up. Stu does not disappoint. I mean, some pretty crazy stories, guys, right now. First off, we'll start off with an opinion article. We are very far off from meeting our climate goals. Get ready for Plan B. Dun, dun, dun. Love that. Next up, Biden admin pledges $520 million to make Ukraine's energy infrastructure cleaner and more resilient. I've never heard more of an oxymoron in my life. Next up, this is probably my favorite article so far that we've done in the next few weeks. Irate family called police on Jennifer Granholm's team for blocking charging station spot for her electric car. This is right out of an episode of Veep, folks. It's unbelievable what just happened here. So Stu will cover everything that's going on with Granholm's attempted EV drive down to Florida. Next up, Russia will sell its natural gas to China at almost a 50% discount compared to its European buyers. And finally, Russian budgets swing to surplus despite plunging energy revenue. Stu will then kick it over to me. I'll quickly cover what went on in the oil and gas markets today. A little flat overall for oil. We did see NASDAQ rise about 1.5%, SPY fairly flat. And then I will quickly cover a joint venture that happened, Deep Blue, which is a water midstream solution out there from a private equity company, 5 Point, and then Diamondback. So we'll read some of the top line information there. And then we'll let you get out of here, get back to work, and start your day. Before we do all that, guys, remember, all of this analysis and stories are courtesy of the world's greatest website, www.energynewsbeat.com. Go ahead and hit the description below. You'll be able to see the timestamps and have links to all of the articles. If you have not already, you can subscribe to us, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Energy Newsbeat, the best place to support the show. Go hit that. If I was a 16-year-old YouTuber, Stu, I would say smash that like button, but I won't. So just go ahead and check us out there. We appreciate everybody who has subscribed. You can interact with the show, questions at energynewsbeat.com, or hit the link below. Check us out, dashboard.energynewsbeat.com. It's our data energy news combo. Trying to kind of put it all into one little product for you guys, still in beta mode, so it's free right now, but it's going behind a paywall soon. Team is hard at work at V2. I'm out of breath though, Stu. We got a banger show. Where do we want to begin?
Oh, hey, let's start out with, we got to set the tone. We're going to wheel around the world here. We are going to go, where's climate? We're off course a little bit. Biden administration, then doing something stupid. Then his energy secretary knocking it out of the park even further. And then we're going to swing over to Russia just because we can. Okay, here we go. Let's start over here. Opinion. We are going very far off course, meeting global climate goals. Get ready for Plan B. Michael, you're not going to believe what Plan B is. Unbelievable. The goal, they've got a Korean War plane that's on the pit cover of this article. It's going around trying to get things up in the skies over Alaska in March. It's trying to spend 60 hours collecting trace gases in the Arctic atmosphere so they can get baselines. Okay,
no.
Let's go here to the next one. They got the baseline.
I see where this is going.
Plan B, Hail Mary attempt to cool the atmosphere by injecting aerosols 12 miles above the Earth's surface to reflect sunlight in space. Holy smokes, are we idiots? This is
And to think this is crazy. This was a Los Angeles Times opinion article. The guy who wrote this name's Edwin Chen. This isn't some crack pipe website we found this on. The LA Times, folks, is calling for Plan B. We're dumb, Stu.
No, we are. Shoot us. But fortunately, he's in the third world country of California. Plan A. This part gets me worked up. Let's use slash our use of gas, oil, and coal. Okay. All right. But what are you going to do in the meantime? Why is Germany going back to coal? Why is Germany getting rid of their nuclear? Because we're stupid.
Sorry. Yeah. Hey, I'm all about thinking outside the box. I think injecting aerosols into the atmosphere is going to have some unintended consequences that we may or may not be able to figure out before we just start shooting this stuff. Kind of like the vaccine, but we want to be able to stay on YouTube. So what do we next, Stu?
Okay, this one's going to follow along with the theme we've got here. The Biden mental cramp for a administration. Biden admin pledges 520 million to make Ukraine's energy infrastructure cleaner and more resilient. They're in a freaking war zone. How do you make? They got one nuclear plant held by the Russians right now. Their grid is blowed up, as they would say in Texas. And I'm sitting here going, at the Ukraine Recovery Conference held in London a few months ago, I pledged the U.S. would invest more than 520 million, making Ukraine's energy infrastructure more than half has been destroyed by Russia cleaner and more resilient. What part of this does not make sense? That they're going to try to plug in renewables they need storage for. They're going to need more grid. That 512 is going to turn into 4 billion. No, I guarantee
it. It's the ability for solar powered tanks, Stu. I mean, they use solar tanks, right?
We love that. We love that one. Can you imagine pulling up in a Abrams M1 tank? You know,
but it's got a battery, but you're pulling 6 batteries behind you.
Okay, this one's great. Let's continue on with our beloved president's administration. We're striking just a beautiful blow.
This could be this is an early candidate for story of the month.
It is. Irate family called Jennifer Granholm's team for blocking a charging station spot for her national car. And Michael, there's 2 other stories that go along with this, but we're not going to even get into it. NPR, we know how they think. NPR is like on your left hand, way left, take your neighbor's hand, and that's how far left they are. They said it was a bad trip. They were even in the next car. Yep. So here's what happened. They went on a 3-hour cruise. They went on a 4-day trip across part of the U.S. to try to prove a 4-day trip from North Carolina to Tennessee was intended to draw attention to the billions of dollars the White House is pouring into green energy and clean cars. Oops, she painstakingly mapped out ahead of time to allow for charging. Well, they had staffers go along and park their cars in there, and a woman was pregnant in the heat trying to charge her car, and the staffer said no, so she called the police. This is nuts.
It's comical. It's comical that they fully understood, hey, it's just comical to think that they understood the issue of, hey, we're going to have to go block these charging points because there's not enough. I mean, right. I know they're investing more in charging points, but it goes to show you the number of charging points needed to go long distances is so many.
And NPR said we went up to charging stations. They were either broken, out of order, or too expensive. And it was like, holy smokes, they did a Dick Cheney on themselves. She shot herself in the foot and the spray got Biden. Go figure that out.
Oh, yeah, I don't get it.
Where was the Mayor Pete during this, since this is transportation?
Maternity leave. What's next?
Smack. Okay, we're gonna flip around. We're gonna fly over the world, and we're gonna go visit my buddy Putin. Michael, hey, hey, that's a cross between Fonzie, The
It's
Sopranos.
way more
Hey,
Fonzie than it is Putin.
it is. It's pretty sad. Let me get my leather coat. Anyway. Okay. Russia will sell natural gas to China at almost 50% discount compared to European buyers. Michael, we talked about right now the price
Yep.
that UK and EU are paying is around that $11 to $14 range right now for gas. We're paying, what's our gas today? I didn't check. I've been busy.
It's like gas. Natural gas is $2.60.
How much?
$2.60.
Okay, great. So if they're half of that, China's still getting a deal at $7, right? $6, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're making a lot of money by selling around the world on that market, even at 50%.
Yeah, what Russia is clearly doing is they're trying to set an alliance with China in the hopes that China will support them going forward because they feel like they're going to be in a conflict with Ukraine for a while. The United States has clearly shown themselves to be on the side of the Ukraine, will continue to fund them as long as possible. Don't agree with that, but I think that's what Putin is thinking. And I think he's saying, hey, if I can make good with Xi Jinping, this allows me to continue whatever I'm doing and know that my largest export will continue to sell. Because think about it, Stu. What's the next article you've got?
Right. Let me just add to that, right? Hold that thought. Guess who didn't show up to the G20? Putin and Xi.
Oh.
They didn't show up. You know why?
They had their own G2 summit?
They had BRICS, just had BRICS, baby. They just got Saudi Arabia in.
BRICS.
BRICS. And then the BRICS block. Boom, boom. Okay,
we just gotta cut to this story right now. The final articles too, because it ties. It's pretty crazy to think about what's happening. They can cut, they can do what they did in the last article and do what they're about to do in this article. Crazy.
Right. Russian budget swings to surplus despite plunging energy revenue. And this is just amazing. Moved back into the black last month. Here we are in September, and they went black. And I mean that it's a couple months later than they thought, but the surplus reached 456 billion rubles in one of the largest monthly hauls this year. People are buying energy.
Yep. It's absolutely insane. And I think the craziest part is too that they can continue to make moves and undercut the market to sell their product at the lowest possible price and continue to balance their budgets. It's proof that, what have they gone to? They've gone to a gold standard. It's interesting how resilient a gold standard has been.
Right. Absolutely. And it's because there's only, what is it, 1% gold coming up out of the ground every year?
Yeah, it's about, it's one of the fewest supply increases of, it's not like the dollar.
Right. And yeah, you just print more. So when you sit back and take a look, the two largest countries of gold ownership are in there with the US, China, and Russia. But we're not backed by gold. And then there's a conspiracy theory out there that we had all ours stolen, but I'm not even going to touch that one. Who knows? Anymore.
Shocker. Stu with the conspiracy theory.
Oh, hey, I used to be just non-conspiracy theory until now. So who knows?
Love it. What else you got?
That's it. Just our people, our administration is just absolutely asinine, and they unbelievable.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that again. We'll quickly cover what happened in the oil and gas finance market, guys. SPY traded up about 0.6 percentage point. NASDAQ up 1.9 percentage points. Dollar index drops about 0.5 percentage point, leading to basically a flat crude oil day, up about a tenth of a percentage point, currently trading 87.33 as we record this, about 6:30. Natural gas dropped to $2.61. The XOP, which is our oil fields contract, did drop about 2 percentage points. Our OIH, which is our oil field services contract, did go ahead and actually rise about a tenth of a percentage point. So again, you kind of see the happenings of what's going on around. Tomorrow we will see what the API predicts. I thought the only other interesting thing was we did see a new joint venture from Diamondback and 5 Point Energy. This is Deep Blue Midland. We'll just go ahead and call them Deep Blue. This strategic joint venture goes ahead and creates the largest independent water infrastructure company in Midland Basin. And to give you guys an idea, they've got over 800 miles of gathering, transport, pipelines. They permitted to dispose about 2 million barrels per day with over 65 million barrels of water storage. They've got some pretty extensive recycling facilities, and they're able to dedicate and take basically all of Diamondback's water. They've gone ahead and entered into a 15-year agreement with Diamondback and to basically take all of their produce and supply water within a 12-county area of mutual interest. They're going to retain a 30% equity interest in Deep Blue and get about $500 million in cash up front, which comes from 5 Points Energy, or 5 Point Energy, which is a private equity company, and who's then going to both each of them probably over the next 12 months, as it looks like, will contribute about $500 million. So, I mean, it's a pretty crazy water deal going on. And this really establishes, as it says, the largest independent water player in that move. And it highlights something that I think everybody is worried about, is these wells become less and less productive. You still get the same amount of fluid, Stu. You just have a less oil cut, which means what? Right. More water. And I think these companies are thinking long term are starting to worry about this. I mean, we know Pioneer is they're produced water. They have they manage I think the most produced water in all of the Midland, or all of that Midland Basin right there. They're stripping their water for lithium and trying to sell that lithium on the open market. I mean, it's incredible. I think there's a lot of interesting things that could happen here. But interesting to see this happen. And for sure, I think a sign of two companies, or specifically Diamondback, thinking extremely long term.
Well, I love the stripping for lithium. I think that is absolutely phenomenal.
They're going to be able to give them 500,000 barrels of water per day of recyclable that they can use for completion. So, I mean, a good move for Diamondback. We love this.
I think it's fantastic. Well done.
What else, Stu, before you let them people go?
Oh, I'll tell you what, it is just absolutely bonkers out there. Buckle up. It's going to get entertaining.
Buckle up, buckaroos. Well, with that, guys, we'll let you get out of here. Get back to work. We appreciate you guys checking us out. World's greatest podcast, Energy News Beat Daily. Stand up for Stuart Turlow and Michael Tanner. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.